Hey there, and welcome on back. As always, I'm Carl with Target's Attitude, absent-minded professor of knives and all things sharp. So I'm back, grabs your pen and paper, class is about to begin. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a new one from Buck, or at least new to me. But before we get into that, got to offer up an apology and a few little bits of notes and other syllabus work, so to speak. Let's get those taken care of first. As you probably remember, I had computer issues. My computer is still down, so I'm not going to be able to edit this as way I normally would. That means there might be a few rough spots in it, or at least more than normal, especially since I do have a slight speech impediment. I apologize for that ahead of time. Also, as you know, we're doing a giveaway. Matter of fact, I'll be drawing the name tonight, probably around 9 o'clock. So if you haven't entered in yet, I'll have a link to the video where you need to enter into it right down below. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to comment on the video that I'm linking here. Otherwise, you don't get the knife. Which knife is it? Still not sure. I mean, the drawing is going to be at 9, and it's whatever knife was the most viewed during 2020, with the end of 2020 being counted as 9 o'clock tonight, even though, excuse me, even though it's technically 2021 now. And I hope you're having a great one. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found us. Mainly Fridays we do knife reviews, occasional reviews of some camping gear or survival equipment. You know, things like flashlights, lanterns, cooking equipment, compasses, that sort of thing. But mainly knives. Then on Mondays, we do what you really need to know, which is aimed more at those who are new to new world of knives. We're looking in that one at what some of the various terms mean and what you need to know. What is a drop point? What do I mean when I talk about something being hollow grind? What is a fuller? What's the difference between G10 and micarta? Those little things. Basically, it's so that you're not sitting there going, yeah, what he said. There is some information available for those of you who've been in the world for a while that you might not know, and you might have some tips that I didn't know. So if you hear something, go right ahead and comment. I won't hold it against you. But for those of you who've been with us for a while, oh, welcome on back. Just got one question for you, and yes, you do know what it is. Have you subscribed yet? No? Why? I mean, come on, man. It's so easy. Just hit that button right down there that says subscribe. Then you hit the bell next to it. That way you get notified every time we put up a neat new video. It's a win-win situation. You win because you get to know whenever I put up a neat new video. I win because, let's be honest, the more subscribers I have, the easier it is to get all these neat new things to show you. So let's help each other out. But in the meantime, it's almost 4 minutes in, and we've been chatting about everything else on the sun, so let's go ahead and take a look at what I brought for you today. This is the Buck Talon. It's billed as a machete, but man, it's a heavy beast for a machete. It's interesting. It's got this little clip right here that lets you secure it so it doesn't flop back and forth. But it's not going to come out of that sheath very easily now, is it? It's got MOLLE strapping on the back so you can attach it to your pack if you need to. Or, of course, you can always hang it from your belt. And it is an interesting blade. It's a 16-inch long knife. 10 inches of it is Cerakoted steel. It's got a fuller on one side, but not the other, which lightens it a little bit without losing any strength whatsoever. It's got a very heavy saw back on it. Be interesting to see how that does in a little bit. It's got a very slight serrated section right down here, but not much. It's got holes here, and 2 holes here and here for either a lanyard or so you can lash it to something. Not sure if I'd be willing to lash it to something or not, but you know what? If you did, especially if you took these handle scales off, you can make a nice, interesting little pole arm out of that. Might have to try that sometime. Standard torque screws set to hold the handle scales on. The handle scales are G10. They call it black, but it looks more gray to me. Nicely textured. All in all, very comfortable in the hand, even if it is kind of heavy. Really, this is one, it's almost got an axe-like tip on the front there, which would be interesting. I mean, if you lashed it to a piece of wood going this way, you could almost use it as an axe. Might test that out too here in a little bit. All in all, very promising looking. Probably test it outside, but it's raining today, and I'm sorry, I've been sick. I don't want to get wet, so we'll do an indoor test for now and retest it again later when I'm feeling better and the weather's better. In the meantime, let's go ahead. As always, this is straight out of the box. Let's see how well it does, shall we? It's definitely got a nice edge on it. Not that you're going to use it for opening up letters or anything, unless you've got some mighty big letters. That'll do it. Cardboard. And I'm not sure what sort of box you'd want to open up with this thing, but definitely took through the cardboard fast and easy. Let's see here. Paracord. I'm going to have to use big loops for paracord on this, but let's start with serrated area, because that's pretty much what is recommended for cutting paracord. And cut right through it and fast and easy. Let's see about the forward edge. Even faster. Going to the very tip here, and just the tip. Nice. Yeah, so far it's looking great. Here in just a minute here, I need to get an empty bottle. Okay. Can't imagine using this to open up any hang packaging, but would do it. I can't imagine using it that way, but it would do it all right. Let's see here. What next? Oh yeah, leather. And this is kind of big for working with leather, but let's see here. Yeah. It's definitely cutting up the leather with, again, like nobody's business. Oh, I forgot to mention that this was made of 5160, they call it carbon steel. It's also referred to as spring steel. If you've ever worked with a leaf spring, that's the most common use for 5160. Especially leaf springs on trucks and other heavy use equipment. So let's see how it does with zip ties. Definitely cut it nicely. Let's see here. That blade I'm not sure about chopping, but it chopped it pretty nicely. Let's use that axe-like section. Yeah, it just right on through. So, piece 2x4. Probably pretty good for bushcrafting. Let's see something here. And that, you see that? Not quite. Let's back this up a little bit. There. So, if I was to put a handle on it and use it as an axe, that's going to do pretty well, actually. So, I don't know if that's what it was designed for, but that's what it looks like is most best use for to me. One more thing. Let me get my glove here. Okay. So, bit deep, pretty deeply. Now what? If I had baton or something out of my hand, it feels like it'd be going right through that fast and furious. Still going pretty decently, just using my palm of my hand, or heel palm strike for those of you in the martial arts. Wonderful. Let's see here. How about that sawback? Nice. Cutting right into it. I mean, definitely going to need to get the, I mean, that's doing better than just about any other sawback I've ever worked with. Very impressive. Very impressive indeed. So, now that I've been pounding on it a little bit and putting it through its paces, let's get that piece of paper back out. Still, just beautiful, beautiful edge. So there you have it. New Talon from Buck. They've been talking about it and showing it off for almost a year now, but it's only been the past 2 weeks I've been able to get my hands on one from my distributor to actually test it out and start selling it. And I'm impressed. Comes not only in black, but also comes in a tan version. Right now I only have black in stock, but I'll be getting the tan version in as soon as I can. It's an expensive knife, I will admit. Minimum advertised price on it is $174.99. So if you see it for less than that, either someone is trying to sell a knockoff, or they don't really care if Buck lets them keep selling these things. Either way, very, very sweet knife. And I'd say the sheath is nice as well. Holds it very snugly and securely. You can change setups very easily just using these little straps and this molly strapping. Not really sure why they put this on the bottom. I mean, it's a nice little lanyard, but unless you want to untie it to put it on the knife, I don't really see too much use for it when it's too short to tie it to your leg or anything. Nonetheless, you've also got this section up here with, as I said, this nice little slide on it that you can use it to secure so it doesn't bounce back and forth and slap a big bruise on your leg as you're hiking, or on your stomach if you've gone ahead and put it on a chest mount on a tactical vest or on your backpack, which truthfully I'd probably flip it a little bit, take these straps off and put the molar strapping on the other side so that I could grab it like that. Could leave it like that, especially if you're right-handed. But in all honesty, I'd probably set it up for left-hand draw even though I am right-handed. But that's completely up to you, of course. To each their own. All in all, just a really nice knife. I think Buck has definitely got another winner here. But in the meantime, I gotta get going. Sounds like my son may be up, so I gotta make sure I get him his morning pills and get him some breakfast and all. In the meantime, I wish you all luck, and here's hoping that your New Year's is fantastic. I look forward to seeing you tonight at 9 o'clock when I draw the winner of that knife. In the meantime, you take care. I'll leave you with a couple videos over here that I think you might be interested in. Of course, you can always hit the target right here. Subscribe. I hope you do. Meantime, take care, and we'll see you then. Bye now.